Hi, my name is Robert Reese.
And I'm Matt Ryncarz, and welcome to a brand new edition of Insider's Health.
Today we have a program that is so exciting to me because, Matt, you know what happened to me last night? I walked around in the parking lot for half an hour looking for my car. And yesterday I lost the keys to my car. So today's show is all about memory.
And you know, Rob, I think the story you have is very common to a lot of our viewers out there. And we have a fantastic guest today who guarantees that he can teach anyone to have a better memory. His name is Donald Barrett. Donald, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hi Donald, how are you?
Terrific.
So Donald, the program is called Auto Memory. Explain that. What does that mean?
Auto memory, how anyone can have an instant recall memory. I want you to think about this, Matt. If you completely lost your memory right now, what could you do?
Absolutely nothing.
Right. I mean, when you think about it, what could you, if you didn't have a memory right now, you couldn't do anything.
Well, for most people, memories is all they have.
Right. But on the flip side of that, if you improve your memory, every aspect of your life gets better. Dale Carnegie wrote a book in the 1930s, and the name of the book was How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in that book, he talked about a few very important things. And the number one thing he talked about is everybody's favorite subject is
Themselves.
And people aren't going to run up to you and tell you this, but you'll notice it in everyday conversation.
Sure.
People would rather talk about their vacation than your vacation.
As long as they can remember.
Yeah, they'd rather talk about their kids than your kids. They'd rather talk about their job or their experiences than your job and your experiences.
Right.
And that's just how it is. But the number one thing that people want you to remember about them is their name. But how many times do you meet somebody and you shake their hand, and as soon as the handshake breaks, you forget their name?
Well, you know, just like I was at a cocktail party last week with my wife, and I knew that there were going to be people there that I would probably forget their names. And I said to my wife, I said, listen, if I don't introduce you, I want you to pipe up yourself and say that you're my wife and try and get their name out of them, because I'm going to be too embarrassed to even ask them their names anymore.
You know, I've actually avoided people. I've actually been at a cocktail party in a social scenario, and I'll actually avoid people, even though I should be talking to them for business.
Just because you forgot their name?
Yeah, because I forgot their name.
Now let me ask you both a question. When you forget somebody's name, how do you think you make them feel?
Well, I know how it makes me feel. It makes me feel very unimportant. I mean, I have met people, I know, and I live in Naples, Florida. I've met people, I bet 10 times, that still don't know my name. And I don't want anything to do with those people
And it's
anymore.
very common.
And to me, it comes across as a sign of intelligence as well. I don't want people to think that I'm not together because I can't simply remember a name. Because if you can't remember a name, what else are you going to forget? And I think that's what people think as well.
Right. But first, let me say, guys, if you meet somebody and shake their hand and a few minutes later, you don't remember their name, I think, you know, the message that they're unimportant or that they might be unimportant to you, I think it's a false signal that you send.
Sure.
But you send the message nonetheless. The
Sure
message gets sent. You know, I was doing a program not too long ago, and there was a 67-year-old grandmother. And she was at this program because she had 5 children. She had 20 grandchildren, and I think she had like 7 great-grandchildren. And she goes, I can remember my kids' names, but I can't remember their spouses and all their kids' names. And around the holidays, I feel ambushed. She came to the 2-day workshop that we teach all around the country, and very easily she got the minimum. She could walk into a room now with 20 complete strangers and walk out and call them all by name. It's really a system that we teach. And I know a lot of people out there sell supplements, but I really teach a system of mental files. And let me give you an example of what that is, okay?
Sure.
I want you guys to imagine a filing cabinet.
Okay.
And that filing cabinet has thousands of files, okay? And it's alphabetized. And I said to you, Rob, go find me the Anderson, Jones, and Zimmerman file. How long is that going to take you?
Oh, probably 10 seconds.
Probably 10 seconds. But if I took that same exact filing cabinet and I tipped all the files upside down on the floor, stirred them around and kicked them all around, and I said, now go find me the Anderson, Jones, and Zimmerman file, what would you say?
I might be able to find it quickly because it'd be the thickest file on the floor because it's my attorney's.
You're right. You're probably going to tell me, like most people, to go find it myself.
Right.
But we do the same exact thing, and the mind works just like a computer. We teach you a system of mental files so you can instantly recall information anytime you want it, because we all have perfect memories. Everything that ever happened to us, everything that we've ever experienced, everything that we've ever read is in our great tumbler somewhere. It's, do we have an ability to extract and use that information when we need it?
Donald, who can use this? Who can use and develop an instant recall memory?
Everybody. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you improve your memory, every aspect of your memory gets better.
Yeah, but
students,
even my father, who's like 88 years old, and he lives in a home, and he can tell me all kinds of different stories going back 20, 30, 40 years, but he can't tell me what happened to him yesterday. I mean, can something like that help him as well?
It works really great on short-term and long-term memory, and I'm going to get to that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
But when you go through this 2-day workshop that has been taught all around the country for $795, we give people 3 very specific guarantees. When they go through the program, they're going to have an absolute minimum of a 300% increase in their retention, their ability to remember things.
Wow, that's quite something.
And I say that because as we deliver the information, we test them, so it's actually quantifiable. Most people have a 500 to 1,000% increase in their memory.
Wow.
Okay? The second thing that we guarantee, absolute minimum guarantee, is you're going to be able to walk into a room of 20 complete strangers. You're going to get their name and learn their name. And when you walk out of that room, you're going to be able to call them all by name, which is impressive.
Wow.
And you're going to be able to remember lists.
That would be great for real estate people and stuff, right?
You're going to be able to remember lists, and you're going to be able to do all your presentations without notes. So those are the minimum guarantees. And this workshop has been taught all around the country for $795. The problem is, for most people to attend this workshop, Rob, it was cost prohibitive. I mean, $795 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it was only taught at certain educational hubs throughout the United States. So it was very inconvenient for people to get to. Now we took the same exact information that people paid $795 to receive and spent 2 days getting this information, and we condensed it into a home study course where now everybody can get this information in a few short hours.
Okay, so we've known each other for a long time, right? I had no idea that you had this kind of memory until we went out for dinner last night, and you blew me away.
Well, I wish I had this when I went to school, because I almost flunked out of high school and I never went to college. And I never had the ability to remember things. And the reason why I was labeled a slow learner.
Yeah.
And the reason why is I couldn't retain things. I couldn't retain information. I was, again, in the slow...
Until you learned these techniques.
Correct. When I got out of school and I was exposed to this information, my career really skyrocketed.
But where did you learn the techniques yourself? I mean, you didn't write this program yourself, did you?
No. And that's a good point, Rob. This information has been taught back in Roman times. It was actually developed in Roman times because the best orators of the day in Roman times used this information to deliver speeches without notes. And it's been done in various forms throughout the years, but I teach it in a very easy, systematic, and fun way for people to learn it, and now they can do it in the comfort of their own home.
Well, Matt, I was just going to say, do you think we could maybe do that test that we did last night for the viewers? Because I was so blown away, and I know you were too. And we could maybe just do a short test to show people sort of the dynamics of the program.
Well, let's show people what an instant recall memory can do for them.
I
Sure.
agree, because when he said that he could remember a list of 15 things,
yeah,
immediately, I didn't believe it, and I think a lot of the viewers at home won't believe it either until they actually see it.
Okay, well, let's try it. You up for that?
Absolutely. Let's do it. I want to show our audience, and I'm not doing this to impress people, because I show this to 8 and 9-year-old kids, and they can not only remember 10 to 15 things, they can remember, when they go through this program, an absolute minimum of 50 things, 50, and they can remember in and out of order. I can give them the number, they can give me the item.
Yeah.
They give me the item, I can give them the number.
Yeah. Well, one of the other hosts from Insider's House was there last night, and we evidenced that as well. But let's go through this test a little bit ourselves. Maybe I'll write them down here,
okay,
and then we'll go see if Donald can remember them.
So you're going to give me a list of 15 things,
yeah,
and I'm going to remember them, and I'm going to give them back to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
You want to give the first one?
Sure. Desk.
Desk.
Number 1 is desk.
Desk. Okay. Number 2, floor.
Okay, floor, number 2.
Okay. 3, headphones.
Number 3 are headphones.
Number 4, cell phone.
Okay, number 4 is cell phone.
Number 5, light switch.
Light switch.
Number 5 is light switch.
Number 6, briefcase.
Okay, number 6 is briefcase. No problem.
Number 7, computer.
Number 7 is computer. Now we're just halfway through the list. I want you guys to look at the list and kind of
Yep.
go through it and see if you can memorize it, because I'm going to test your memory
Well,
as well.
I don't think that's going to work.
Well,
that's not gonna work, yeah.
well, you have the list in front of you. You have the luxury of having the list in front of
rather
you.
not do that.
But I
National
want you
television.
guys just to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, number 8, window.
Okay.
Number 9,
Chair.
chair.
Chair. Number 9.
10 is clock. 11,
Ladder.
Number 11 is ladder. Okay.
okay. Number 12, doctor.
Number 12 is doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor.
So why don't we
Okay.
just stop it there, because just for the sake of time.
Okay.
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 And do you want to list the names?
Let me see if I can remember them. Now, understand that, this is the only memory course I have ever had is this course.
Yes.
I'm not R2D2. You just gave me the information. This is
Right.
like live television.
Yeah.
So let me just see if I can go through the list really, really easily.
Okay.
Number 1 was desk.
Yeah.
Number 2 was floor, I believe. Number 3 was headphones. Number 4 was cell phone. Number 5 was light switch. Number 6 was briefcase. Number 7 was computer. Number 8 was window. Number 9 was chair. Number 10 was clock. Number 11 was ladder. And number 12 was doctor.
Wow.
Would you like them backwards?
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Sure, going backwards.
Number 12, okay, was doctor. Number 11 was ladder. Number 10 was clock. Number 9 was chair. Number 8 was window. Number 7 was computer. Number 6 was briefcase, of course. Number 5 was light switch. Number 4 was cell phone. Number 3 was headphones. Number 2 was floor. And number 1 was desk.
Wow.
Now I'm not
Now
doing
what-
I'm
now
not
what-
doing that to
okay,
impress you.
okay, now
I
let me-
show
let me
this to
just
8
ask
and
you this.
9-year-olds.
Let me ask you this. What was number 9?
Number 9 was chair.
What number was floor?
Number 4 was 2.
Wow.
That's incredible.
What number was briefcase?
Number briefcase was 6. Briefcase was 6.
Wow.
Right? Now, I'm not doing this to impress you. I show this to 8 and 9-year-olds that go through that 2-day workshop. Now we've condensed that workshop into a home study course where anyone can get this information
But
in
you're,
a few
you're-
short
but you're
hours.
saying that you're saying in a few short hours, somebody who has never even taken this course could remember up to 50 things as your guarantee.
That's the
not just 12.
absolute minimum, and it's easy. It's like magic. Once you know the secret, it's easy. So it's easy to me. I was impressed the first time I saw it.
Wow.
And a lot of people get impressed, but once you have a system of mental files that we teach in the auto memory program, it's easy for people to remember things. And not just lists. I mean, that was just a random list. But if someone had a shopping list, if people had a to-do list, all types of lists.
Yeah.
A student, for instance, we have a lot of
Well,
students.
like my son, I was going to ask you about my son. He's having trouble with economics.
Sure.
Right? But, he doesn't have to memorize lists, I don't think. He needs to understand the economics and remember maybe formulas and things like that.
Okay, if your son's going in to take his economics test and he could take his notes with him that he studies before he goes in to take the test,
Yeah.
what is that called?
That's cheating.
That's called cheating, right? But I could sit down and he goes through this program in a few short hours,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he can actually commit those notes to memory. And when he walks into the classroom, it's almost like having his notes. It's almost like having an unfair advantage.
It's like
I mean,
legal cheating.
I call it the unfair advantage. And every child wants to have the unfair advantage, but we spend so much money sending our kids to college. We want to send our kids to the best colleges, spend tens of thousands of dollars to send them to these schools. And when they get out of school, they don't remember anything that they learned. 90% of what they learned, they forget. Why don't they spend a few short hours to learn a simple system to remember things? And we simply teach
Yeah.
people a system of mental files, just like your computer.
So it's a
if every
skill.
document you've ever done in your computer, you saved on your desktop,
Yeah.
your computer would be unorganized and a mess.
Which it is.
Right? So you have a system, we teach a system of mental files so you can easily access that information. Now that list that you gave me, I can lock that in and remember it for the long term, or I can delete the information and forget it. It's very simple and easy. Just we've never been taught a system on how to remember things. We're taught what to learn and what to remember in school, but we're never taught a system on how to remember things.
Yeah, you brought up Dale Carnegie earlier.
Sure.
Now let's look at it on the other aspect of it. What if you could remember the people that you meet? Not only do you remember their name, but you remember their kids' names. You know, some of the things that they told you about, where they went on vacation, maybe some of that where they live. You know, all kinds of things, and you could recall that, okay, immediately upon meeting them again. How would that make them feel, right?
It makes them feel great.
Now, wouldn't that be the perfect salesman?
Absolutely. And a salesperson
I mean,
or
for business people,
a business person, you want people to remember you, right? As a business person, you always want people to remember you. And there's something called the psychological obligator. When you remember someone else's name, information about that person, they're psychologically obligated to remember you. So it's a great tool for a salesperson to use as well. Because when I first learned this information 10 years ago, my wife was working at a law firm in Boston, and there was a holiday party. And I went to the holiday party, and I got introduced to all the lawyers in the firm and all the different secretaries in the firm. And when I walked out of that, it was on a cruise ship. When I walked off that boat, I was able to shake everybody and call them by their first name. And this was 2 days after I went through this information.
Wow.
I mean, it's powerful, and anybody can improve their mind and have an ability to have an instant recall memory. That's what we call it.
Wow.
Now, Donald, I know something for me that it was actually a scary situation, and I was driving by myself. My car broke down, and when I went to call my wife for help, my phone was dead. Now, luckily, there was a good Samaritan pulled over to help me, but I sat there and I realized I could not remember her phone number because, like many of our viewers are watching, they put the number in their cell phone. And that cell phone is a lifeline. That cell phone is gone. What happens? And it took me about an hour and a half in a high-stress environment to finally remember her phone number so I could call her and get help. I was strained. I couldn't do anything because this lifeline of my cell phone was gone.
The auto memory program will teach you how to remember numbers, how to remember lists, virtually anything, passwords, anything that you want to apply this to, you can apply it to. But having a better memory improves every aspect of your life.
So how do people get this program?
Well, up until now, this program was only offered in a 2-day workshop, and people paid up to $795 to attend this workshop. The challenge with it is...
I pay $795 after running around the parking lot for half an hour last night.
And you know what? A lot of people gladly pay that after they go through the program. They said, I would have paid 10 times more to get this information, because memory power in a lot of cases is money power. But $795 is what people pay to attend this 2-day workshop. And the problem with that is it's cost prohibitive for a lot of people to go.
Sure.
And the other problem is this program was only offered at certain educational hubs throughout the United States. So it wasn't in everybody's area. So a lot of times people had to travel and stay in a hotel or whatnot, to learn this information. We've now condensed this program into a home study course where people can go through this information in a few short hours. And the best part about it is they're not going to have to pay the $795. They're not even going to have to pay $499 or $299. If they pick up the phone while I'm on your show today, we're going to give them the complete auto memory program for 3 easy payments of $39.95. And with that, we give some very, very specific guarantees. The first guarantee is this. Everybody that goes through the program is going to have a minimum of a 300% increase in their memory ability, their ability to recall information. Now, again, when they go through the program, we actually quantify it. They have a couple of simple tests that they take, and many people have a 500 to 1,000% increase in their ability to retain information. The second guarantee is you're going to be able to walk into a room of 20 complete strangers, and when you walk out, you're going to be able to call them all by name. And just like I did a list of 15 things, after you go through this program in a few short hours, you're going to be able to do a list of 50 things, a minimum of 50 things. And the other benefit is you can do presentations without notes. I always get a kick out of these memory supplements that I see on television. These guys selling these memory supplements, and they're reading a teleprompter. If the memory supplement helped them so much, why do they have to read a teleprompter? I'm not reading a teleprompter. I don't have to. The bottom line is supplements can help with blood flow and help with cognition and things like that. But if you don't have a system to remember things, it's like the filing cabinet being dumped on the floor.
Yeah. So this is the program here, right?
Yep, this is the program. There's 4 audio CDs and a workbook in that program.
Okay. So if you can learn everything in 2 hours, then you really don't need the program after that, do you?
No, you can sell it on eBay
Go
because
sell
it's
it
a
on
memory
eBay.
program. You don't
You make your money back.
Right, right, exactly. So if somebody wants more information,
People can
I let
probably
them
actually make money.
Yeah. Memory power is money power. You can. I taught this to a guy named Steve. Steve was in auto body. His family owned an auto body shop, okay? And his father was retiring, and he was taking over the business. So he came from, working in the shop to the front office and having to deal with people. And he said, I've had a family-owned business for 30 years, and I can't recall any of my customers. My father was good at it, but I can't recall any of my customers. He came to the 2-day workshop, spent $795, and he said it was the best thing that he's ever done for his business. Because now he not only remembers his customers' names, but he remembers what they did last summer. He remembers their kids' names. He remembers all the different cars that their family drives. So if they come in, they go, "Oh, do you still have that? Do you still have that Cadillac that you had last year?" Because he knows all the cars, he knows more information about them. And when you know more information about people, the psychological obligator allows them to know more information about you, and you're more likely to get referrals. Remembering names is so important. It's so important. And how many times in aisle 2 of the grocery store does someone come up to you and say, "Hey, Rob, how are you?"
Hey, buddy.
And it's
Big
somebody
guy.
that you
Hey,
should
big
know.
guy.
Maybe it's somebody you've done business with. Maybe it's someone that you should know.
Oh.
And
It happens
what do you
every
do?
day. It happens to me.
It happens every single day. And like we said, how do you think it makes them feel? Unimportant.
Yeah.
And it's just that the information is in there.
No,
You just don't have the ability to access
I
it.
don't think I'm going to be invited to their Christmas party,
So you're saying that you said this program is easy to go through, right? So anyone can take this program and make it work for them?
In a few short hours. It's easy, simple, and systematic. If they go through the program and they don't achieve those minimum guarantees that I just talked about,
Yeah.
we don't want them to pay for the program. Just send it back. We'll even refund the shipping and handling. It works every time. I've taught 8, 9-year-old kids this system, all the way up to 90-year-old seniors. Okay, it works every single time.
One thing I wanted to ask you is with struggling students, for example.
Sure.
Let's say they're halfway or 3/4 of the way through the school year, and they're just not performing. They're not getting the marks. But they need to get the marks in order to get into college.
Sure.
Or get into some sort of a scholarship program. Could they take this and learn it in a couple of hours and then start retrieving all that information that they lost in order to have a successful, like last semester, in order to bring up their marks and maybe get into the universities of their choice?
To catch up, you're saying.
Yeah,
to catch up on what they
on
don't
stuff
know.
that they haven't learned properly.
Right. John Jones Jr. from Canton, Ohio,
Yeah.
came to one of our 2-day workshops. And his father actually signed him up for the workshop and paid for him to come.
Yeah.
And he was flunking out of public school. And I want you to think about a child today flunking out of public school. I mean, what kind of future does that child have?
Yeah.
The father spent money that he didn't have, sent the John to private schools.
Yeah.
And he, because of the smaller classrooms and things, he got his grades up and he was basically getting C's. He came to the program, and within 30 days, he was getting straight A's. His father wrote us a letter. He really couldn't believe it, because John Jones Jr. now can remember every single thing that he learns in that classroom.
Yeah.
And like I said, it should be a crime to send your son or your daughter to college and not have this information.
So even if you don't want the program yourself because you could care less, let's say, but it really is your duty to do it if you've got kids going through school,
grandkids,
or you've got older parents whose memories are failing and having those senior moments. You want them around. You want to be able to love them and communicate with them, as they're even growing older, rather than just taking care of them.
I was telling you about the 67-year-old grandmother that came through the workshop, and like I said, she couldn't remember her kids. She could remember her kids' names, but she couldn't remember their spouses and their kids' names, and it's embarrassing.
Oh.
She feels like the grandchildren don't think that they're important to her, and she now can call them all by name. I talk to people all the time. People tell me, I've been married for 10 years, and I don't even remember how my wife takes her coffee. I mean, people, their memories, they think it's because they're getting older. A lot of people think as I'm getting older, my memory's getting worse. It's not true. We all have perfect memories. As we get older, we have more files to remember.
Yeah.
A 5 or a 10-year-old child doesn't have that many files to remember. But as we get 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, we have so many more things to remember than when we were young. Because people say, oh, my kid has such a great memory.
So that's why we need this system as we grow older.
It's a simple system of mental files.
What you're describing, it sounds like it's a skill that you can learn that we're never taught. It's a skill. And I know a lot of people watching the show, they're going to think that we're teaching basic word association or something like that. Now, it's becoming the fastest selling memory program of all time because we primarily don't teach basic word association. Now, basic word association has a large margin of error, and let me explain that. Okay. You meet a lady named Rose, okay, and you want to picture something. What do you picture? Flower.
You picture a flower. Okay. Well, the next day you walk in and you're thinking of a flower, and you might call her Daisy or Petunia or whatever. So there's a large margin of error. So why this is becoming the fastest selling memory program of all time is we primarily don't teach basic word association.
Now, what do you think about supplements then? And there's a lot of supplements you see on TV that talk about increasing your brain power and your memory. Do you believe in these supplements?
Well, a supplement without a system to remember things it's like that file folder that I dumped out on the floor with all those files around the floor.
Yeah.
If you don't have a system to remember things, you're just dumping file on top of that big mess.
Yeah.
And you don't have an ability to access that information.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of these people talk about free radical damage, losing brain volume, all that kind of, I mean, some of that stuff has to come into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you take a good supplement, it's going to help you go through that mess on the floor a little bit faster.
Yeah. Now, do you take supplements yourself?
I take a supplement. I was lucky enough to come across a guy named Dr. Gordon Pedersen.
Yeah.
Now, he has 4 medical degrees. He's board certified in anti-aging. And he came to one of my workshops, and he introduced to me a breakthrough supplement. A product's called Cognitol.
Yeah.
And it's a very unique and rare supplement. It's based on medicinal mushrooms. And the preliminary evidence has shown with this particular supplement that I take, Cognitol, it can actually help the mind and the brain regrow and re-stimulate brain cells. Yeah. Just like adding more memory to your computer, with this particular supplement, you could be adding memory right to your brain, more capacity. It's a fascinating product.
Should we let them know what we did today?
Sure.
Huh? Yeah.
It's a fascinating product.
You're not going to believe it, but we actually flew in Dr. Pedersen.
Oh,
today.
Okay, great.
And we're gonna bring him on the show in a minute, so he can, you can see him, and I know you want to thank him so much for everything he's done for you.
Right. I mean, it's a fantastic supplement.
Yeah.
And it's the only supplement I know of out there that has actually been shown to actually re-stimulate and regrow brain cells. And it's a very rare and unique product. The challenge with the particular product is it costs $99, and that's if you can get it, because the ingredients in the product are so rare and unique. It's not widely available. So if someone picks up the phone and gets the auto memory program, I worked out a special arrangement with Dr. Pedersen. So people, the first 100 phone callers to pick up the phone and get this program, we'll give them a free bottle of that Cognitol as well.
Oh, wow, that's really generous.
But taking the supplement without the system is like, it's like running in the dark.
You need them both.
Right.
Now, something that really that impressed me about the supplement is, from what I've read, up to a year ago, the thought of regrowing brain cells was thought to be impossible by the medical community.
That's what we've always been told. Remember growing up, don't burn all your brain cells out.
So I can understand why these mushrooms
You're never going to get more brain cells.
I can understand why they're hard to get a hold of, because that's a huge breakthrough when it comes to brain health.
Right, and the ingredients are very rare and unique, and they come from a specific area of the world. So it's not available to the mass market.
So what happens when you combine that supplement with the program?
Well, it's the 1-2 punch. When you have a system to remember things, and you can increase your brain's processing speed with the supplement, now you can instantly recall things, and you can either remember those things short term, or you can delete them if you want, or you can remember everything for the long term. Just like that list that you gave me. Just like that list that you gave me. Now, it's been about probably 15 minutes since you gave me that initial list.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
that's what I was gonna ask
let's
you.
take a look at that again. Do you remember what number computer was?
Of course I do. It was number 7.
Wow. Okay,
I can go through the whole list if you want.
Okay, go through the whole list, but I want to hear you do it backwards this time.
Okay. Number 12 was doctor. Number 12
Correct.
was ladder.
Correct?
Okay. Number 10 was clock.
Yep.
Number 10 was clock. I'm going backwards. Number 9 was chair.
Yep.
Number 8 was window. Number 7 was computer. Number 6 was briefcase. Number 5 was light switch. Number 4 was cell phone. Number 3 was headphones. Number 2 was floor, and number 1 was desk.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Okay?
So what you're
That's
saying is it
amazing.
locks it in.
It locks it in for the short term or for the long term. Now, I want you to go
But
through
like you said
I want you
earlier,
to pick
you can
up that
delete it
list.
if you want
I want
to.
you to pick up that list.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And give me a number or an item.
Briefcase.
Okay, briefcase was number 6. Cross off briefcase.
Cross it off?
Yep.
Okay. Cross it off.
Give me another one.
Window.
Okay. Window was number 8.
8. Cross it off.
Cross it off.
Okay.
Okay. 3.
Number 3 was headphones.
Headphones. Right. Number 10.
Number 10 was clock.
Cross it
Now,
off.
what if I could give you the ones that we didn't cross off?
You'd probably be on a late night.
Yeah, if I could do that, I'd be on Jay Leno.
Okay, go
but
ahead.
I-
Go ahead and give us the ones that weren't crossed off.
The ones you didn't cross off is you didn't call off number 1, which was desk. You didn't call off number 2, which was floor. You did call off number 3, which was headphones. You didn't call off number 4, which was cell phone. Number 5, you didn't cross off, which was light switch. Number 6, you did cross off, which was briefcase. Number 7, you didn't cross off, which was computer. Number 8, you did cross off, which was window. 9, you didn't cross off, which was chair. Number 10, you didn't cross off, which was clock. Number 11, you didn't cross off, which was ladder. And number 12, you didn't cross off, which was doctor.
Unbelievable.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
But it's unbelievable just because I know a system. I have a system of mental file folders.
So
Okay,
you're saying
I
anyone can do
flunked
that?
out of college. Okay, I flunked out of high school. I went to college and never finished college. Okay, I wish I had this information as a student because it's made a profound impact on my professional career. So when I meet somebody, I can remember facts and information about them, their family, their names. It's really an incredible tool
Okay,
that
so-
everybody should have.
So this program here, is this the exact same program that the Romans learned that you were talking about, or have there been any changes made to
Well,
it? or-
it's developed throughout the ages. It's developed throughout the ages, and it's
Yeah.
been taught in various
so
forms.
it's not you that actually invented it, right?
I didn't invent this information. I just teach it in a very fun, easy, and systematic way where people can learn it now in a few short hours in their comfort of their own home.
Oh, so you've just taken what was amazing over many centuries and just made it easier and better. Is that correct?
Correct. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And now people can listen to it in the comfort of their own
And
home.
what's in it exactly again?
Now, when someone goes through this program,
Yeah.
okay, they're not going to pay the $795 that
Right.
people would pay if they went to the 2-day workshop. It's been condensed into this home study course. Now, when they go through this program, we give them 3 very specific guarantees. The first guarantee, again, is they're going to have at least a 300% increase in their memory, their ability to recall information. And again, as they're going through the information, we give them a couple of simple tests, okay, that they can do, and they can quantify how much better their memory has gotten, okay? Most people have a 500 to 1,000% increase in their ability to recall information. The second thing is, like that list of 12 things that we
Yeah.
just did,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to remember a list of 50 things, 50, in frontwards, backwards, in and out of order. I can give you that item, you'll be able to give me the number. I can give you the number, you'll be able to give me the item. And the last thing is you're going to be able to go into a room with 20 complete strangers, meet them all, and when you walk out, shake them all by hand and call them by their name. I mean, it's incredible.
That's-
You're also going to be able to do presentations and public speaking without notes, which is, a sought-after skill by a lot of business executives.
Donald, I know we're running out of time. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave our audience with?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I wish I was exposed to this information at a younger age. And whether you're a student, whether you're a college student, whether you're a senior, whether you're a business professional and you want to improve your memory. And memory power is money power. Whether you're in school and you're learning, you want to learn more information and retain more information so you're more apt to get a job when you get out of school, or if you're a business executive right now, maybe you have a business and you just want to make more money. By retaining people's names and knowing more information and having an ability to instantly access that information, it gives you an unfair advantage in life. So I want to thank you guys for having me on the show so we could expose this, this home study course to the American public.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Don.
All right, thank you
Really
guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Amazing.
All right.
And Matt, that was an amazing interview.
It was.
And next time we'll see you on Insider's Health.